Former Health Minister of Kerala and senior communist leader Mr. K.P. Prabhakaran was registered with Alpha Palliative Care on July 24, 2009 after having diagnosed with cancer. At the time, his son K.P. Rajendran was Kerala's Minister of Revenue. Alpha's home care was made available to him until his death on 11th of August. Later, Mr. K.P. Rajendran visited Alpha Palliative Care and said that his family and colleagues are indebted to Alpha for the peaceful last days of his beloved father. From the very beginning, Alpha's leaders have focused on bringing Alpha's service to all those who suffer from pain and distress in the community, regardless of economic or social status. For this reason, instead of spending their last days and moments in the intensive care departments of hospitals, they got a choice to spend time with family, relatives, and friends in the comfort of their homes. It is common for many of the relatives and friends to come to Alpha and express their good feelings and appreciation. Many of them eventually started collaborating with various activities of Alpha. More than 35,000 patients have been registered and are availing the services of Alpha over the years. Alpha Charitable Trust started Alpha Palliative Care in 2005 with a team of trained volunteers, 4 community nurses, and a part-time doctor. It has grown under the leadership of thousands of volunteers who came forward from the human community to support Alpha. As Alpha's community volunteers and staff work relentlessly to reach out to those in need of palliative care 24 hours round the clock without discrimination, irrespective of race, religion, caste, creed, and political affiliation, it is natural that people from all walks of life are coming forward to supporting these activities. William Penn once said, "I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good therefore I can do, or any kindness or abilities that I can show to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer it or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again." K. M. Nuruddin, the man behind all these activities of Alpha, is a real philanthropist and a man with compassion towards the sufferings of his fellow human beings. From his experience of having to spend time in various hospitals for the treatment of his sister who had a severe heart disease at a very young age, he continued to work for the social change in the early stages of his youth and devoted his life to the welfare of suffering human beings. Alpha Charitable Trust, Alpha Palliative Care, Alpha Dialysis Center, and Alpha Care Home are the ongoing activities. During the early years of palliative care in India, when palliative care activities were started at Kozhikode Medical College, Alpha provided the first home care vehicle in 1993, and then the Neighborhood Network Palliative Care NNPC was established in Manjeri with the aim of expanding palliative care through community participation. Alpha Charitable Trust has been the sponsor of the project since its inception. This experience later led to the emergence of Alpha Palliative Care in 2005. A close friend and film star Mr. Innocent was a patron, and friends such as Director of the Institute of Palliative Medicine, Kozhikode, Dr. K. Suresh Kumar, Dr. K. K. Mohandas, Dr. V. P. Gangadharan, Dr. Mustaq Ali, Dr. Fazal Muhammad as directors. Alpha Pain Clinic started operations on 3rd of May 2005. Alpha Pain Clinic was later renamed itself as Alpha Palliative Care. Later, many prominent people in the community worked with Alpha to strengthen the services. Dr. Rajagopal, Mr. Joy Alukas, Mr. T. S. Kalyanaraman, Mr. V. P. Nandakumar, Mr. V. A. Hassan, Padma Shri Dr. T. A. Sundarmenon, Mr. Lalu Samuel, Mr. C.V. Rapai, Mr. Siddharth Balachandran, Dr. Sunny Kurian, Mr. Sajan K. Matthew, Captain Vivek Bali, Mr. Ravi Kannampillil and others worked as patrons and directors. In addition to cancer patients, Alpha has been registering and providing services since its inception to the survivors of accidents, stroke, people with mobility impairment and old age debilities. All services are provided completely free of charge, including the medicines. In 2010, Alpha launched the Punarjani project, which provides physiotherapy and allied services for the patients with limited mobility. It has become a large service network that helps bring hundreds of people back to near normal life at Alpha Hospice and various link centers. It gives them great joy to be able to carry on with their own lives despite their physical challenges. Physical care alone does not solve the problem of the sick and their families. To this end, Alpha is implementing various rehabilitation projects. There are various employment income generating schemes being implemented. To rehabilitate the families, Alpha carries out house building, repairing, construction of toilets and kitchens for patients, assisting children with their studies, finding a job, moving vehicle, bed and mobility aids. Illness and treatment, prolonged hospitalization and medication are common causes of financial crisis for patients and their families. Alpha's home care is a blessing for the people, both physically and mentally exhausted. Getting medicines and other services at no cost can give them a great mental relief and help them find comfort for the rest of their lives where there is no chance for cure. It is a common sight today where patients are forced to sell their house to pay for settling debts amassed as a result of their unaffordable financial obligations that existed until the death of the patient. Alpha also sees the rehabilitation of such families as a responsibility. Alpha also undertakes the rehabilitation of those who have no one to take care. Alpha Care Home operates as an attic for those who do not have a caregiver. Daughters of the patients who are unable to get married due to financial crisis are a big social problem in the families of the sick. To this end, Alpha has been conducting community weddings every year for a number of years. So far, 82 girls have been given a new lease of life in this marriage scheme that provides 40 grams of gold ornaments and 50,000 rupees as a gift to each bride. When each family finds a groom, Alpha sets the stage for the wedding to take place according to each other's customs. And marriage becomes a celebration of human community living in the area with feast, dance and felicitations. Community volunteers, including students, are the organizers of the festivities. Students Association of Palliative Care SAPC Alpha's project is to impart knowledge of palliative care among youth and to cultivate compassion for those in needs in the community. The establishment of palliative care clubs in schools and colleges and the provision of awareness programs and trainings are the steps to engage every household into sponsors and supporters of palliative movement to meet the growing needs of the aging population. Alpha has been working towards this goal among students since 2006. It started with a large student-led rallies on the second Saturday in October to mark World Palliative Care Day. Olympian Mrs. Shiny Wilson and patron Mr. Innocent were the chief guests. This continued in later years with growing participation of tens of thousands of students in various districts. Palliative care awareness is also about ensuring that no one in our society experiences pain and hardship unnecessarily. 1 Rupee, 1 Life is a project implemented by Alpha for palliative care among school children. In addition to being introduced to palliative care, a student contributes to the care of a patient by depositing 1 rupee coins in a donation box for 100 days. Thousands of children in hundreds of schools are involved in these activities, growing seeds of hope for a better tomorrow. The project, inaugurated by Ms. Kiran Bedi, India's first woman IPS officer, on 23rd January 2013 in Thrissur at a meeting attended by over 25,000 students. Cricketers Chaminda Vas and Sairaj Bertule and other social dignitaries were also present on the occasion. Since 2013, Alpha has launched a new operating system. It started with the establishment of community-owned care centers called Alpha Link Centers in each block panchayat in Kerala to cater the palliative care needs of the community. There are currently 17 link centers operating in 4 districts serving 10 million population. Alpha is currently working to create new centers in various parts of the state. People who sponsor a patient care in every month are the energy of link centers with an objective to cover most of the state by the year 2025. Simultaneously, efforts are exerted to commence palliative care in other states in India. Alpha Palliative Care has a 5-member governing council under the auspices of Alpha Palliative Care and a 5-member governing council consisting of representatives from the Central Council and 3 members nominated by the Central Council to oversee day-to-day affairs. It is a great humanitarian effort to create compassionate communities around patients and to organize community volunteers all over India to run link centers, spreading the message that it makes sense that most of the people may need palliative care towards the end of their lives, to cultivate the belief that life is not scary and that death could be as dignified as life itself. In fact, this idea and thought needs to be nurtured and services made available not only in Kerala but anywhere in the world. However, the fact that only 3% of those in need of palliative care in India today receive it shows that we have a long way to go. With a single mind and unflinching determination, let us work together. Let us overcome it.